Okay, so we're in Siman Kuf Nun Tes. We're doing the halachas on Netilas Yadayim, and we're talking about the kelim that one can use for Netilas Yadayim, for washing your hands to make hamotzi. Says the Machab in Sif Gimel, Kli shemachazik revius kashesoimchim oisei. A kli holds a revius. We said yesterday the 86 cc according to Chaim, not 150 according to the Chazon Ish, but only kashesoimchim oisei. Only when you prop up that keili. Imagine it's got like a rounded underside, and therefore it's going to spill or whatever it may be. But it only holds revius when you prop it up. And if you don't prop it up, the water will spill out. And you won't get a revius staying in the keili. Ein a keili, that's not considered the keili, and therefore you can't use that to wash. Hilkach, therefore, magufa shel chavis, if you've got a part of the barrel, shehi chadal, which is very narrow, ve'en mekabeles revius shelem mesumeches, and it will not hold a revius if it's not propped up, ein etli mimenu, you can't use that for Netilas Yadayim. Im hirchiva milmata ad mekabeles revius kashi yesheves shelem mesumeches, if, however, on the contrast, that it would hold a revius without being propped up, then no etli mimenu, then you would be able to use that. Says the Mishnah Berurah Chof Yud Beis. Kli shemachazik, B'Torah Beis Yosef Issa, that is true also with a broken sort of shard, the broken keili that would hold a revius without it being propped up. For example, you've got a barrel which is split along its length, but that you can hold that sort of flank, that part of the broken barrel can hold a revius without it being propped up. That they shouldn't really be makel there, unless you've designated that flank, let's call it that shard or whatever it is of the barrel for that purpose as a keili. He discusses at the end of the day it's a broken kli, and therefore it cannot be used whatsoever for Netilas Yadayim. Till now we're talking about the sides of the kli. If it's been squashed downwards and it can still stand on its base, without it being propped up, or little bo'im ein lekli acher. Then mistoma you can use that if it's sort of squashed down, it's sort of been crushed, but it can still hold a revius without being propped up. Then you can use that. It hasn't lost its shame kli. But just use it. Pour from the place where there is that opening to besof acher shakli gavoya, but in another opening, a higher part of the kli, don't use that one. Because many achronim will say that that's not considered a kli, because in that place, if you're going to use it from a lower opening, from that vantage point, it's not going to hold a revius, because it will just spill out of that opening. If you've got a hole, an opening, of a small opening, where it will seep out, but water won't come into it. Not to use it again whatsoever if there's some sort of crack or something like that. Okay, Yud Gimel. So we said revius when it's propped up. Lav dafka. When it says it holds revius when it's propped up, that's not dafka. It could be hold much more than revius if it's held up. The point is that unless it's propped up, if it won't hold at least a revius, that's the point. But if it will hold a revius, even as is, then that would be sufficient. It wasn't initially made like that. It's broken in somewhat. Without being propped up. Now in footnote 21 he's got a fascinating thing. Have you ever been to clay cafe? You go to clay cafe, you make your own pottery. What if you made it, but you made it a terrible one? Yeah, in other words, it's like a broken kli, but that's how it was made. So if you look at 21, you just, you messed it up in the clay cafe or whatever, and you made your own pottery. You made a sort of a broken kli at the outset. Or somebody, a shaita made it like that. Even though that's how it was made from the outset, that's not called a kli. It's only called a kli if it's a kli. If it was made properly and that's how it was meant to be, and it was made, and people can use it, etc. Like we're going to see in Sif Hey. Okay, let's finish off the Mishnah Berurah. Sif Katan Tes Vav. So this is going on. He said that the Mechaber says Hilkach Meguf Shel Chavish Yichadav is a narrow part of the kli which Ein Mekubeles Revius Mesumeches, which will not hold a revius if it's not supported. Ein Noitlim Mimena. So he says in Tesvav Meguf Avuadin Bekisu Kelim. So even parts of the keli, and even from the lid of the keli, Sheim Chadim, which is narrow, Ve'ein Mekabelin Revius Alidei Smicha. Also, then you can't use that if it doesn't hold a revius, if it's not being propped up. Elim Kein Tikna, unless you somehow fix it. But if it's wide at the outset, or Mekabelin Revius, then Kasher. Then it will be kosher. Mishum de mishtamshin lif'amim bohen gam kein lekava, because sometimes you use the lid of the kli to hold things. V'yesh machmir bezelim kein yichten behedge lekabala, and there are people in machmir unless you properly designated it to hold liquid. Sheichada, it's narrow. Hainu sheichada lemata b'mokim sheyesheves b'fi hachavis. That it's narrow at the bottom where it sits on the chavis. So lemala al gabo. It's got some sort of opening, some sort of cavity to hold water. Yud Zayin ein notlin mimeno da'af tehinasis mitchila chada, even though it's made thin. Because the Lamaisa, it was never made as a kli, and therefore you cannot use it for Netilas time. Hamavur b'sif hey demuta mishum shelenasis mitchila b'shvil lekabel b'mashkin, because it was never made at the outset to hold liquid. Rak ikri lekisu, because it was made to be a lid, and therefore you will not be able to use it for a kli. V'chein le'domi l'sak v'kupa mavur b'sif talad, then it's not the same as a bag or a kupa, which is going to Mishnah we'll discuss tomorrow in the next sif. To machmir in sham deloy mahani af im tikna l'sheves b'lo smicha. There we're machmir not to use it even if it can sit properly without smicha. Mishum de bezel kolponim mishtamshim b'lefam lekabalas mashkin, because occasionally it would be used to hold water, so that or liquid, so that could be different. Okay. Say them. We'll leave it at that.